Hello and welcome to another video from the only channel that you need to not only survive the current apocalypse but actually enjoy it. And today's video is going to be the next installment in our series entitled Written in Stone. Now, when I started this series, I only knew what I had read in the Bible, that God had changed the calendar around 2,700 years ago, and Daniel wrote about it when he said that God is changing months and years. That was in Daniel chapter 2 verse 23 or 21. And I knew that had happened, but before I could say it happened, I had to have confirmation from the secular world. And so, looking through history, I came to realize that every culture on the planet had somewhere written in stone a calendar with 360 days and 12 30-day months. Now, around 2,700 years ago, that changed, and every culture on the earth developed a 365-day calendar with a very bizarre system of keeping track of months. Systems that had leap days, leap months, and leap years. So that's all I needed, and that's really all I needed to present, but that's not all I presented. I explained to you how all of that worked when I really didn't know how it worked. And what happened is I did however many 4 or 5 of these videos, and it came time to actually do the physics, the geometry, the math, so that I could tell you how all of this was going to appear. And after I modeled it on a piece of paper, and I took a little golf ball and a softball and frisbee and tried in my mind to picture how all this was going to go down, I figured it out and got sick to my stomach. That's why you haven't seen me do any videos in the last week or so. This channel, this YouTube channel that I'm doing, is not something I do for YouTube dollars. I don't put advertising on any of my Bible videos, and that's all I make now. It's not to get attention, because what good would it do? You don't even know who I am. You know, there's a few people I have told my name, but for the most part, nobody out there knows who I am. So this is not for attention. This is really my life, and for me to put all of my faith in the Bible, and then to see something that doesn't make any sense, is crushing. I've said before that anything that you come across like that, if you just look at the translation, or if you just think about it long enough, you'll figure it out. But it's hard to keep that in mind when you run into something that doesn't make any sense. Now here, I'm going to give you the explanation of what I have been telling you that is a lie. Okay, the first thing I've been telling you is that in the ancient past, all a man had to do to know where he was in the stream of time was to look up at the sky. All of these celestial objects that are out there are part of this huge calendar that Jehovah God created so that we could tell what day it was, what week it was, what month it was, and what festivals were coming up. And that part is true. But I had to try and explain how we got a new month every 30 days. And the way I explained it is that you have new moons, which is when the moon is completely black, and as it cycles through its lunations, you come across a full moon, which is when the moon is fully white, and then the moon is fully black again. That cycle from being completely dark to being completely dark again is one lunation. That's supposed to be in a perfect cycle 30 days. But when I modeled it, that wasn't possible. Remember in the Bible in Genesis how it said that God was making the 2 luminaries, the sun so that we could see during the day, and the moon so we could see during the night? In a perfect 360-day calendar with 12 30-day months, that goes off perfectly, because the moon is always in the night sky and full, and the sun is always in the day sky. So the earth is spinning, and as it spins, the moon is always here and the sun is over there. So you see, you can't have new moons. If the moon is always full, if it's always on the opposite side of the earth as the sun, there is no such thing as a new moon. And so I have been sitting back thinking, you know, I know that this Bible is real, so how can it be that something this obvious could just pop up and disprove everything? And I thought about it and thought about it and thought about it, and then it hit me. Twice a year, during the equinox, the earth is upright. In other words, let's explain this. The moon always circles the earth like this. Right now, that's the way it works. We are the earth. This is our axis. The moon is going around. As the earth is tilting towards and away from the sun, the moon follows that tilt. So twice a year, when the earth is exactly straight up and down, the axis of the earth, and the sun is here, and the moon is right here, you'll come to the vernal equinox, which would cause at least one lunar eclipse. I think 2 a year. And guess when the Feast of Trumpets is? The Feast of Trumpets is the festival to celebrate the new moon. And it happens right on the vernal equinox, the first day of the 7th month on the Jewish calendar, the original 12-month calendar. So that was really, you just wouldn't believe what a relief it was to figure that out, because I absolutely have been fretting over this, because I believe in the Bible. I know the Bible's the truth. Everything I've ever read out of the Bible's the truth. And when I read that God had changed the calendar from 360 days to 365 days, I knew that was true. And I also knew that the Bible said that we could look to the sun and the moon and the planets to tell us exactly where we are in the stream of time. So I had to be able to figure that out. And I am so thankful that I have, and I'm also very thankful now that I've been able to share that with you. Now, what I've just shown you, though, there's another important lesson. I'm constantly telling you that you need to get out of church, and you've got to get all that poison out of your head. Do you know why I believe that we had a new moon every month, even on a 360-day calendar? Because in church, we've always been taught about the new moons. We've been taught about the Feast of Trumpets, and it was always explained that way to me. And I thought in order for all of that to work, the new moon that we have today had to be exactly like the new moon on a 360-day calendar. But now, see, that's out of my head. That is poison. That is a lie that will never affect me again. And I'm not sad to give it up. I'm very happy. I'm very happy to be able to make this video for you. If you don't want to survive, don't listen to me.